Now that 2025 is upon us, I think we can all look back at 2024 and admit that as far as TV and movies go, there were a lot of stinkers. But what if the culprit wasn't just bad writing or studio interference? What if it was AI? If you remember back in 2023, a big chunk of the year was taken up by the writer's strike, partly over concerns that unregulated artificial intelligence would put writers' jobs at risk and threaten their livelihoods. Now, with big studios putting out so many bad movies, I had to ask, are we witnessing the fallout of that strike? Or were these scripts secretly cooked up by AI? So I decided to test 3 of the worst scripts against 4 different AI detection tools to see if the future of filmmaking has finally gone off the rails. And I think it's safe to say that Hollywood has 6 major problems. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Darby Ellis Lewis Wilson, and this is a channel where we like to talk about bad movies and big ideas. And I think one of the biggest ideas out right now is artificial intelligence and what impact that will have on the future of filmmaking and art and creativity in general. So, because there were so many bad movies in 2024, I decided I would take the scripts from 3 of these movies, Borderlands, Madam Web, and The Crow, all kind of universally panned. And I would feed them into some AI detection software and see, is it potentially AI that's written these? Now, I should give a disclaimer. So I work for a college, and we recently had a big college-wide AI seminar telling teachers, I'm not a teacher, but telling the teachers that they shouldn't use AI detection software because it's actually pretty unreliable, meaning it can look at something that was completely created by a human and say that it's AI, and it can look at something that was completely AI generated and say, yeah, this looks like it was made by a human. So full disclaimer ahead. So what I did was I just Googled AI detection software, and I put it into 3 separate programs. You can Google, I think, the same thing and find exactly what I found. And I just took the scripts. Now, they weren't the full script. They were essentially the transcripts of the movies. So like what you would hear or what you would see if you had closed captioning on. I put those into this AI detection software, and they told me the percentage of which it thought that these were AI generated. However, for the last little experiment, I thought this would be interesting if I put the scripts into ChatGPT and ask it to give me an analysis of the scripts, thinking, can a AI software detect more AI? It's sort of a Blade Runner thing.
The tortoise lays on its back, its belly baking in the hot sun, beating its legs, trying to turn itself over, but it can't. Not without your help. But you're not helping.
What do you mean I'm not helping?
I mean you're not helping. Why is that, Leon?
And I think the results were very interesting and somewhat scathing. So it gave me 6 different criteria as to why it thought these scripts were generated by artificial intelligence. So let me get into them. Point number 1 from ChatGPT, looking over Borderlands, The Crow, and Madam Web. Point number 1, overpacked and disjointed storylines. Each film juggles too many subplots and characters, diluting focus and coherence. The scripts feel overstuffed with action, dialogue, and set pieces that don't always build cohesively toward a climax. AI often generates content that ticks genre boxes but lacks the deliberate crafting of human storytelling. AI often struggles with conciseness and tends to incorporate every idea or reference it's fed, resulting in bloated, sprawling scripts like these. Point number 2, repetitive and exposition-heavy dialogue. Dialogue across all 3 films frequently reiterates key themes or backstory. Characters often repeat similar jokes or phrases, which is a hallmark of AI attempting to emulate humor or personality traits. Point 3, Character inconsistencies. Character actions and motivations occasionally feel abrupt or contradictory, making emotional arcs less impactful. AI may struggle to create nuanced character growth or maintain consistent emotional depth. Number 4. Heavy reliance on tropes and formulas. All three films lean into familiar genre staples. For example, chosen one narratives, destiny-driven heroes, and climactic final battles. The scripts occasionally veer into tonal mismatches, switching abruptly between humor and drama, which can be a byproduct of AI trying to reconcile different inputs. AI-generated scripts often mirror existing works by relying heavily on familiar structures. Point number 5, lack of emotional resonance. Despite their dramatic premises, none of the films land their emotional beats convincingly. While entertaining, the scripts may lack subtlety or nuance in their emotional beats, a limitation of AI-generated content. Some interactions feel forced or awkward, like characters delivering lines that seem to serve the plot rather than sounding like real conversation. AI tools often prioritize plot mechanics over crafting meaningful interpersonal dynamics. Point number 6, tonal shifts, overuse of quirkiness and humor. The films interject humor inappropriately, which disrupts their emotional or narrative stakes. For example, Claptrap's comedic bits in Borderlands clash with the high-stakes action sequences, and Madame Web's attempts at levity undermined its darker themes. AI can overcompensate with humor or quirkiness to imitate human writing styles. So there you go, 6 scathing indictments saying that Borderlands, The Crow, and Madame Web were potentially written by AI software, but not so fast. The 3 other AI detection tools that I put them into said that they were mostly 0 to 6%, most likely 0 to 6% written by AI, meaning that it's pretty negligible. They may have used AI to help out in the ideation process, or to maybe structure some things, or maybe to just get the ball rolling with an idea. So I think it's actually pretty safe to say that these scripts weren't written by AI, but actual flesh and blood human beings. But that's kind of a big problem. You see, if Hollywood is putting out scripts that look like they are overbloated with too many ideas, or the human interactions don't seem real, or they are just always going with the same cliches over and over again, that means that we are becoming creatively bankrupt in some way. And if that's the case, why does it matter if we're using AI to write entire scripts or not? If we rely solely on what came before and we don't try to innovate, then we might as well just be using AI. But what do I know? Are movies really that bad now? Or do you think they actually weren't as bad as people and ChatGPT say? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you'd like to talk more schlock, then YouTube's AI thinks that you'd love these videos here. Schlock on! And I have to scratch my nose. Oh man. As soon as it comes showtime, I just fall apart. Okay.